was in a long-distance relationship with a girl from Georgia and would often road trip to visit her. I didn't mind. I actually love road trips. There's something about traveling the highways of the US alone just feels free. To save money, I'd sleep in my car. It's like camping, but in a metal tent. I'd recline the seat, keep the keys in the ignition just in case, and doze off. That night I stopped somewhere near Virginia-North Carolina border. It was quiet. A few cars scattered under the streetlights like forgotten luggage. I parked far from the others under a tree in the dark, more privacy, or so I thought. A sharp tap woke me up, then again. Like something small hitting my windshield, my heart started pounding. I was still, too still. I decided to look. What I saw was a face pressed against my windshield, wide grin, eyes rolled back, white, skin pale, dead pale, hair long, black filthy teeth, rotten. She was just lying there, staring at me. I had shots to the key, the engine turned on. Thank God, she didn't move until I reversed. She leapt off, landed on all fours, crawling, chasing. I floored it. She shrieked like a wounded animal and didn't stop again until the sky turned orange. My company used to have an office in another state, 2 states over. Most of the time I flew out there, but sometimes we had to deliver equipment or vehicles, and I'd volunteer to make the trip myself. I didn't mind the drive. I actually liked being on the road. Sometimes I'd crash at a motel, other times I'd just pull over at a rest stop and sleep in the back of the vehicle. This time I was driving a big U-Haul size box truck. We had just used. The bag was filled with office equipment, including a giant copier. I waited hours to get loaded. By the time I left, it was around 5 p.m. I hit some local rush hour, but once I got out of the metro area, it was smooth sailing until midnight. After a few fuel and bathroom breaks, I pulled into a rural rest stop near the state border. The place was empty, quiet, still. I'm not gonna lie, I felt confident. I used to box, and nothing about the place felt off at first. I hit the restroom, splashed water on my face, and walked back to the truck, but now there was a pickup parked next to it, and a guy standing beside my door. He struck up small talk, nothing threatening, but then he asked something that made my hair on my neck stand up. "Truck giving you any problems?" I didn't answer, I just got it and I left. The road ahead was mostly forest, nothing but trees and shadows for miles. Around 3 a.m. I was crossing this long bridge over a grove. That's when everything went black. All the lights, headlights, dashboard, brake lights, gone. Total blackout. Moonlight barely lit the night. I started yelling, slamming my fist into the dash. Suddenly, everything came back. Lights on, engine fine. I kept driving, searching for anywhere with lights. Then I saw it. An old gas station. I remembered from the past trip. I pulled in, not long after. So did the same damn pickup truck. I was halfway through filling up the truck, still running through scenarios in my head. What if that guy tempered with something? And just as I had to hop back out into the cabin and roll out, a police cruiser pulled into the station. I slipped away from the pump, waved him down casually. We made small talk, just enough to feel him out. Then I mentioned towards the road where I had last seen the pickup truck. He gave me a nod and pulled off in that direction. I asked the cop about nearby motels. He gave me directions and I hit the road again. Paranoid now, I swear that pickup truck was tailing me for a bit. After he was just sitting there, just watching me, not even moving in the gas station. But never got close. I made it to a small town and found a motel near a gas station. I checked in, locked the truck, and watched the windows all night, like I was waiting for something to come out the shadows. I barely slept. At the first light, I left, got back on the road, reached the office by noon. Later that week, I asked the company to have the truck checked. The mechanic looked over it twice and said there was nothing wrong. No shorts, no battery issues, no faulty lighting. To this day, I don't know what happened that night, whether it's mechanical or something worse, but I'll never forget how that guy at the rest stop smiled when he asked if I was having any trouble. I was in the Air Force, stationed in Omaha, Nebraska. This was back in the late 80s. At the time, I hung out with my roommate. Her name was Tracy, and our friend Stacy. Funny enough, my name is Tracy too. Yeah, you might heard that right. Tracy, and Stacy. People never believed us when we introduced ourselves, but we thought it was hilarious. One weekend, we decided to take a road trip to Kansas City, Missouri. We were speeding down the highway, laughing, singing, not a care in the world. We were just teenagers, loud, wild, and happy. Stacy, the one driving, had a bit of a lead foot. Eventually, a state trooper pulled behind us and flipped on his lights. She pulled over right away, already had her license and registration ready. The officer walked up, looked inside of all of us, and then without taking anything, he said something that made our stomachs drop.
I want you to follow me. Don't try to run off or you will all go to jail.
He turned and walked back to his cruiser. We were confused, but scared enough to obey. He drove for miles, then exited the highway. He turned onto the dirt road, the kind surrounded by the tall stalks of corn on both sides. The laughing had stopped. We kept going. Eventually the road opened up to a clearing. An old barn stood crooked in the middle of the lot. The trooper stopped, so did we. That's when the doors off the barn creaked open, and a group of men stepped out holding shotguns. He told Stacy to get out and follow him to his cruiser. The look on her face as she turned to us, it said everything we need to know. Tracy and I sat frozen, crying quietly, praying to God she'd be okay. The men outside never said a word, just watched us through the windows. Minutes passed like hours, then suddenly Stacy bolted out of the trooper's car. Tears running down her face, she jumped into the driver's seat, started the engine. The cop walked up to Tracy's windows. He leaned in and said, "Is it true all of y'all are in the Air Force?" She nodded, barely able to speak. "Yeah, we are." He stood still for a second, then he said this.
Get out of here and go back to where y'all came from. I better not see y'all again.
No one said a word. We didn't cry until we reached Nebraska. Only when we saw the state line did we all let it out. Stacy pulled over and broke down. We asked what happened to her, and she told us. She said when she got into his car, he looked at her ID, then asked her,
"What are you doing with those two?"
Stacy tried to stay calm, and when we were on the road trip, that's when he said if she did us certain favors for him, he might let us go with a warning. She lost it. Between sobs, she kept apologizing. Then he noticed her military ID. That's what saved us. We cried the whole way home. We never told anybody. We didn't think anyone would believe 3 teenage girls over a state trooper. That memory has haunted me for decades. Not just the fear, but the thought that someone else, someone not in the military, might have not gone away.